One cab ride, 5 stops. A deadly deal unfolds as an ordinary driver becomes trapped in the night of his life alongside a cold-blooded killer. The city of Los Angeles hums with restless energy, and Max, a quiet cab driver, slips into his routine shift. He's a man with big dreams, but stuck in a small life. His secret plan? Save enough money to one day open his own limousine company. For now, though, the yellow taxi is his world. One night, Max picks up Annie, a sharp, confident woman who immediately challenges his choice of route. He insists he knows a faster way, and after some hesitation, she allows it. To her surprise, he's right. A little victory for Max, though she teases him that saving her money might not be great for his tip. Their ride turns into a heart-to-heart conversation. Annie, who carries herself with quiet determination, reveals that she's a prosecutor, preparing for a big case that leaves her riddled with anxiety. Max, who often hides behind his calm exterior, listens closely and offers something unusual, a small picture of an island he keeps in his glove box. He tells her to look at it whenever she feels overwhelmed, to imagine being there. It's his way of coping, and the gesture touches Annie. Before leaving, she surprises him by returning with her business card, hinting there might be more than just lawyer-client banter between them. For a moment, Max feels seen, maybe even hopeful, but the tone of the night shifts when Max's next passenger arrives. A well-dressed man named Vincent slips into the back seat, polite, but with an edge of command in his voice. He offers Max $600 for 5 quick stops before sunrise. It seems like easy money. Too easy. What Max doesn't know yet is that this ride will change everything, and that Vincent's first stop will set off a chain of events that drags Max into a nightmare he cannot escape. The night has only just begun, and already danger waits at the next corner. Max drives through the neon-lit streets, his thoughts drifting back to Annie. But the man in his back seat pulls him back into reality. Vincent is calm, collected, and oddly charismatic. He makes small talk about Los Angeles, asking Max how long he's been driving. When Max mentions it's just temporary until he builds his limousine business, Vincent smirks, clearly amused, but not unkind. The cab arrives at Vincent's first stop, an apartment building in a quiet neighborhood. He hands Max a few $100s up front, reminding him of the 5 promised stops. Max waits outside, tapping the steering wheel, half bored, half curious. Minutes later, the night shatters. A heavy thud slams against the windshield. Max jumps out, heart racing, only to see a lifeless body sprawled across the hood of his cab. The man's neck is broken, his face twisted in shock. Max staggers back, horrified. Vincent appears almost casually, wiping his hands and walking toward the scene. Max blurts out in disbelief, "You killed him!" Vincent doesn't flinch. Instead, he pulls out a silenced pistol and aims it straight at Max. "You were supposed to wait in the car," Vincent says coldly. He orders Max to pop the trunk. Panic floods Max's chest as he hesitates, but the gun pushes the decision for him. Together, they heave the body into the trunk. Vincent quickly wipes down the blood with chilling efficiency. As if he's done this 1,000 times before, Max pleads to be let go, offering Vincent the cab, the cash, anything. But Vincent laughs, a dry, unsettling sound. "You're part of this now. We got 4 more stops." Before Max can protest further, Vincent climbs into the back seat again, still gripping the gun. Max sits frozen, hands shaking on the steering wheel, realizing he's trapped with a contract killer. And then, red and blue lights flash in his rearview mirror. A police car pulls up behind them. 2 officers step out, approaching slowly, one hand already near his holster. Vincent leans forward, gun pressing into the back of Max's seat. His voice is steady, terrifyingly calm. Say one wrong word, and they're both dead. The sirens wail in the distance, but for Max, the real danger is already inside his cab. The police officer taps on Max's window, shining his flashlight across the cracked windshield. "License and registration," he demands. Max's palms sweat as he fumbles with the documents, praying they won't notice the body in the trunk. Vincent leans forward from the shadows, his gun just out of sight but pressing into Max's back. "Calm. Smile. You're just a cabbie with a broken window," Vincent whispers, his voice steady but lethal. The officer notices the smeared blood near the bumper. His brow furrows. "You hit a deer?" he asks suspiciously. Max swallows hard, blurting out the lie Vincent fed him. "Yeah, big one. Came out of nowhere." The cop seems unconvinced. "Pop the trunk," he orders. Max's heart slams against his chest. He glances in the rear view, locking eyes with Vincent. One tiny shake of Vincent's head warns him of the consequences. Just as the tension boils over, the officer's radio crackles with urgency. A shooting nearby. They're ordered to respond immediately. The officer slams the trunk closed and waves Max off, rushing back to his cruiser. The flashing lights disappear into the night. Max exhales shakily, but Vincent doesn't allow relief. "See, you can handle pressure," he says, almost approvingly. But then he ties Max's hands to the steering wheel with a cable tie. "No more improvising. You drive where I tell you, when I tell you." They pull up to the next stop and Vincent disappears into the building, leaving Max bound in his seat. Desperation takes hold. Max blasts the horn and stomps on the brakes, drawing attention from passers-by. But instead of helping, two thugs notice his wallet and Vincent's briefcase in the front seat. They yank open the door, rob him, and walk away laughing. Moments later, Vincent emerges, sees his briefcase gone, and without hesitation, guns down the thugs in cold precision. He calmly retrieves his case, cuts Max loose, and gets back in the cab as if nothing happened. Max stares at him, horrified, realizing escape is nearly impossible. Vincent smirks. 3 down, 2 to go. The city rushes by, but for Max, every streetlight now feels like a countdown toward his own death. The cab winds through downtown Los Angeles until Vincent tells Max to stop outside a small jazz club. The neon sign flickers above the entrance, and for a fleeting moment, Max thinks this may just be a drink break. But Vincent isn't here for entertainment. Inside, the two are greeted by warm saxophone notes and the easy charm of Daniel, the club owner. He welcomes them like old friends, sharing stories about his band, his days in the army, and the legends who once played on his stage. Max relaxes for the first time all night, lulled by the music and Daniel's passion. But Vincent's smile hides a darker purpose. He asks Daniel questions, steering the conversation toward his past and his connections. Daniel's voice falters when Vincent casually mentions the names of dangerous men. The air grows heavy as realization dawns on him. Vincent isn't here for jazz. He's here for a hit. Max tries desperately to intervene, whispering to Vincent to let the man go, to spare him. Vincent pretends to consider it, but then sets a cruel condition. Daniel must answer a jazz trivia question correctly. If he gets it right, he may walk away. If not, Daniel gives his answer, but it isn't what Vincent wanted to hear. Without hesitation, Vincent draws his silenced pistol and fires. Max stumbles outside, his breath ragged, his hands shaking uncontrollably. The streets feel colder now, and the reality sinks deeper. This isn't random. Vincent has a list, a series of names, and he's crossing them off one by one. Vincent follows, unbothered, like they just left a business meeting. He presses Max against the cab, telling him to get control of himself. "You're part of this ride. Stop pretending otherwise." As Max climbs back into the driver's seat, the radio crackles to life. It's his boss, demanding an explanation for the shattered windshield. Before Max can speak, Vincent leans forward, ready to take over the call and the lie. The city's music fades, replaced by the pounding truth. Vincent won't stop until every target is gone. The cab weaves through Los Angeles until Vincent orders Max to stop outside an upscale nightclub. The atmosphere shifts instantly. This isn't another random kill. This is business. Vincent turns to Max with icy precision. "They've never seen me. You're going in as me. You'll get the list, or you die." He takes Max's wallet as collateral, leaving him no choice. Shaking, Max is ushered inside by armed guards. He gives the name Vincent, and is searched again before being led into a back room where Felix, a notorious crime boss, sits at the head of a long table. His men eye Max suspiciously, fingers brushing their guns. Felix's voice is calm, but laced with threat. He tells Max the list of targets was expensive to compile, and losing it isn't acceptable. The pressure in the room tightens like a noose. Max digs deep, channeling the confidence Vincent has forced on him. He leans forward, staring Felix directly in the eye. With surprising conviction, he claims he got rid of the list because he was tailed, protecting Felix and his operation. He insists he's already completed 3 kills, with 2 more to go. The room falls silent. Guns hang at the edge of being drawn. Then, slowly, Felix nods. He believes in the performance. Relieved, Max accepts the USB containing the replacement list. But before leaving, he adds one last bluff. As a token of loyalty, he'll give Felix a discount. The men laugh uneasily and Max walks out alive. Back in the cab, Vincent is amused. He praises Max for the act, but his smile carries danger. See, you're not just a cabbie, you're evolving. Meanwhile, across town, Detective Fanning is piecing together the pattern of killings. He suspects the cabbie isn't the killer, but a pawn trapped in the middle. The net is closing, and both men in the taxi are now being hunted. As Max drives into the next stop, the line between himself and Vincent blurs. For the first time, Max feels what it's like to wear the mask of a predator. But masks don't last forever, and the next stop will push Max past his breaking point. The cab hums down Washington Boulevard, but inside, the air is electric with tension. Max grips the wheel, his mind racing after everything that just happened with Felix. He's no longer just a hostage. He's been inside Vincent's world, and part of him is beginning to crack under the weight of it. Vincent studies him from the back seat. You did well in there. Maybe you're finally finding your place. The compliment feels like poison. Max isn't finding his place, he's losing himself. The silence stretches until Vincent breaks it with something colder. Next stop, a woman, Annie. Max's heart stops. Annie, the lawyer he drove earlier. The woman he shared a rare human connection with. The one who gave him her card. Suddenly, everything is personal. Vincent notices Max's shaken expression and smirks. Small world, huh? Panic flashes across Max's face. He realizes if he doesn't act now, Annie's life will end tonight. The words echo in his mind. If Vincent crosses her name off his list, there's no undoing it. Max's fear hardens into something else. Determination. He grips the steering wheel tighter, his knuckles turning white. The cab approaches an intersection, and Max slams his foot on the accelerator. The cab rockets forward, ignoring red lights, horns blaring around them. Vincent barks at him to slow down, pistol pressing against the back of Max's seat. But Max doesn't listen. He mutters to himself, half crazed, I could have done it at any time. I just never took the risk. He barrels through another red light, the cab skidding as it nearly clips another car. Why not now, he growls. Why not tonight? Vincent shouts, raising the gun. But Max suddenly jerks the wheel hard, aiming straight for a barricade. Metal screeches. The cab flips, glass shatters, and everything is chaos. When the dust settles, Vincent crawls out of the wreck, bruised but alive, disappearing into the night like a shadow. Max lies pinned, dazed, but through the haze of sirens and flashing lights, one thought burns clear. Annie is Vincent's final target. The clock is ticking, and Max is the only one who can stop him. The wrecked cab fades into the distance as Max stumbles out, battered but alive. Sirens wail behind him, but he has no time to waste. His mind is locked on one truth. Annie is next. Cuffed by a responding officer, Max fights panic until he sees Annie's face on Vincent's target list. In a surge of defiance, he flips the officer, snatches his gun, and bolts into the night. Every step pounds with urgency. He has to reach her first. At Annie's high-rise office, Vincent stalks the halls like a phantom, his silenced pistol glinting under dim lights. He cuts the power, plunging everything into darkness. Annie, alone in her office, fumbles for her phone, dialing 911, her breath sharp with fear. But Vincent is already closing in. Meanwhile, Max sprints through the streets, calling Annie from a stolen phone. At first, she thinks it's a prank, until he blurts Felix's name. Realization hits. The danger is real. Through broken signals and a fading battery, Max guides her step by step, watching Vincent's shadow approach her through the office windows across the street. Vincent bursts in, finding Annie hiding in the shadows. Gun raised, he steps closer, but Max arrives just in time, shattering the glass door with a gunshot. The two men lock eyes. Predator versus survivor. The chase spills into an elevator, then a frantic dash into the subway. The metallic screech of trains echoes through the tunnels as Max and Annie weave through the crowds. Vincent stalks after them, relentless, his movements sharp and mechanical. On the train, there's no escape. The doors close, trapping predator and prey together. Passengers shrink away as Vincent advances. Max shields Annie, trembling but determined. "You won't take her?" he says, voice breaking but firm. Bullets explode in the confined space, sparks flying as metal screams. Both men empty their clips, the train rattling under the storm of violence. Silence follows. For a tense second, no one moves. Then Vincent staggers, clutching his side. The earlier bullet from Max's gun has found its mark. He sinks into a seat, his expression eerily calm. "Told you, I do this for a living," he murmurs, before going still. Max pulls Annie close as the train slows to its stop. For the first time that night, he exhales, knowing the ride is finally over. But in the reflection of the subway window, Max sees himself, no longer just a cabbie, but a man who faced the impossible and survived. Critics praised Collateral for its suspenseful atmosphere and powerhouse performances. According to IMDb users, the movie brilliantly captured the tension of one night in Los Angeles, keeping viewers hooked from the first ride to the final train scene. Rotten Tomatoes highlights Tom Cruise's chilling turn as Vincent, a career-first villain role for him, which many called one of his boldest performances. Variety applauded Jamie Foxx's grounded portrayal of Max, noting that his vulnerability made the story both human and terrifying. Behind the scenes, director Michael Mann insisted on filming almost entirely at night in real Los Angeles locations to capture the city's glowing neon and eerie quiet. Many shots were done using a new digital camera technology at the time, giving the film its crisp, nocturnal look. Tom Cruise trained extensively with professional marksmen and even disguised himself as a FedEx delivery man in real life to practice blending in unnoticed, the same way Vincent moves through the city without drawing suspicion. In the end, Collateral isn't just about a taxi ride gone wrong. It's about choices, courage, and what happens when an ordinary man is forced to step outside his comfort zone. Max begins the night as a dreamer with excuses, but by dawn, he becomes a survivor who proves he can act when it matters most. Vincent, cold and calculating, underestimated the strength that comes from having something worth fighting for. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you never miss our next movie recap. Your support keeps us going and helps us bring more stories like this to life.